Okay, you guys, so I tried to record as much as I could of the venue. So you see me going upstairs, and I wanted to take a clear shot so you guys can see how empty the venue looked upstairs. And here are my bags, all prepped, probably like 2 nights before. So these are big, big bags, and they're easy and they're clear because I can see what balloons I need to grab. And also I have my 3 lampstands. Now these I've showed you guys in another video, but if you quickly see the base of my lamps have like teeny tiny balloons and gray balloons, those are water balloons. I place a quad of water balloons to add a little bit more weight to my lamps. Even though my lamps are pretty sturdy, I wanted to make sure nothing could, tip them over or anything. So I immediately start with my quads. Now these are going to be fantasy columns, so they're going to be organic. It doesn't matter the size of the balloons. But as you can see, I started immediately to build the base. And the reason why I did this is because I have a total of 3 different columns with 2 different styles. And I had planned how many balloons, 2 nights ago, what balloons were going to go in which lamps. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't utilize all of my big balloons on only 1 or 2 lamps, because I had a third one that I needed to do a different design for. So I needed to do at least the base of each lamp. That's why you see the 3 of them are like halfway there. So I simply just grab my quad, interlock them on my balloon stand pole, and I cross them to secure them in place. And so far, I have a lamp, right? A column of balloons. Now, I couldn't quite record everything for you guys, but I did as much as I could. In this case, the 3rd fantasy column was a little bit more challenging and involved. I had to go on a chair because, of course, I didn't bring my ladder, but I knew that they had chairs, so I was like, okay, I could just go on a chair, something less for me to carry. And I started placing my number 40. And I'm going to do the walkthrough for you guys. So here's one of the columns. It turned out beautiful with that organic pattern right by the bar. I have my other 2 fantasy columns. This one is the one that I told you guys is the special one because it has the number 40 and the flowers, and it's a bit different, but such a statement piece is gorgeous. And then my 3rd fantasy column, which is more like organic like the other one. So a total of 3. I tell you guys, pictures, videos don't do any justice on how beautiful these turned out. The shiny, the colors, they were gorgeous. But that's it, you guys. These are the 3 columns I had for you, and I hope you enjoy these type of videos. I don't get to do them often because half of the time there's an event planner, the client, and I can't do much recording, but I hope that you guys enjoy this little bit of behind the scenes of an event. And I'm also going to show you guys how this event at the bottom of the 2nd floor is. If you go down the stairs, you'll see there was a lot of people already, and it was only like 6 o'clock. So there's a live band, there's a lot of people, food, drinks, and we had fun. So walking into the bar with a huge bag of balloons and try to squeeze in to people at the bar and stuff like that, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit nerve-wracking because everybody's watching you. It could be a little uncomfortable, but I'm focused because I need to do a job. It's good to point out that I first stopped at the entrance, talked to the manager, and asked if he had parking. He told me no. And then the second thing I asked was, do you have a staff entrance? Because some people don't necessarily want the staff or whoever's going to render services to walk right where the clientele is. He didn't have a problem. He says that's the only way in, only way out, so you can come in and bring it.
So yeah, there were a lot of people there staring, which, you know, it could be uncomfortable. Once we got up there to set up, you'll see that the place was empty. We had it to ourselves. You know, it's an opening, you can still hear, but there was some sort of like privacy to it. And that's it, we got to work. So not gonna lie, I was a little like nervous about it, because I was always like keeping track of time, making sure that we had enough time to get all 3 columns together. And it was a surprise party, so I wanted to make sure it beat the clock. So that said, that's what you see right now on the, well, what I'm going to show you on the screen, on the video. You get to see a little bit of the backstory to it. I may have to do a voiceover on it because it was so loud. There's so much background noise when I was taking the videos. I don't want you guys to, you know, hear that loudness. But so yeah, it was a learning experience. Another thing that is good to point out is I use these like lamps for my column stands. I will only use those for indoor setups. And as a matter of fact, I actually ended up putting a quad of water balloons on top of the base, because even though they were sturdy enough, I wanted to make it a little bit sturdier. I didn't want anybody to bump into it and then it fell or anything like that. But the theme of the party obviously was the 40th birthday. And from what I understand, the husband decided that purple was the color and left it up to me to design what other colors go with it. So what I did was basically chose the silver. And number one, because I think purple looks nice with silver. The other thing was, I've been doing so many arrangements with gold. It's like something new for change. And the other thing is the number 40 is huge. So if I would have put one of those like gold 40s, it would have been too much of an eyesore. And even though the piece is amazing, you also have to keep in consideration, it was almost like a little bit muted with the silver. Still made a statement, but not like an eyesore. You know what I mean? It just went with the whole piece. And that's why I chose silver. It just took a little bit of that bright looking gold out of there. If there will be like foils that have like a softer gold, which I know they do, but it's tough, you know. And I also have to tell you guys, this was a last minute thing. It wasn't like I had planned this for a while. Literally, they contacted me on Monday, and the party was on a Friday night. So it was kind of like he didn't have that much room for options. He said, she likes purple. Do you have purple? Yeah. Go at it. Like, do whatever you want, design-wise. So, and I love it when that happens, because then I take full control of what the piece will look like. And they get surprised. So, yeah, it was really fun. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about was, you will see that I did some flat balloon flowers that went on my piece. I have a different technique. You know, there's different techniques that you do and you evolve and you learn new things that you probably didn't do at first. And that's kind of what happened with these flowers. Before, back in the day, I used to make my flowers with either glue dots, or I used to put hot glue, and you gotta be careful with those things because it puts tension on the balloon, that if some sort of like tension on it or movement, your balloon can like explode and pop. So a lot of people that don't deal with balloons, like clients, you know, in general, people tend to go and touch your piece. So if you're doing a bouquet, they come and over and they're touching your stuff and saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is balloons, right? And they touch. When you touch, you compromise your structure on your piece, whatever that may be. And it's good to understand that with these flowers, people are going to try to touch and feel out, because that's right, that's a human thing to do, you know? You're gonna see, oh, is this real? Is this balloon? And you have a potential for the balloons to pop if you have that sort of structure. With my balloons now, what I do is I don't use any glue, especially to like connect the petals on the flower. And of course I did use glue dots to put the flower with the foil balloon and so forth, which also creates a little bit of tension. But the petals of the flowers, they're like, they're all balloon tension. They're not glue dot or hot glue gun to each other. They're not. The more I can limit the amount of tension on the flower, the better it is, especially because those are the pieces that people touch the most. And I don't blame them. You know, you see something cool, you want to touch and feel. And lo and behold, that's what happened. I got to the place, I'm doing my arrangements, and of course, some of the servers were there. And she comes over and she's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Is this flower? And she's starting to touch. I'm being respectful. I don't want to be rude. But in the back of my head, I was like, stop touching it. You know? But the bottom line is, you got to act professional too. I don't know. It happens. So the more you can limit accidents from happening, the better it will be for you. And if somebody from the staff in the place is doing that, can you imagine like actual clients and like, you know, the people that he invited at the party? They're going to come over and do the same thing all night long. Of course, I am not going to be responsible once I leave the premises. Like, I leave your balloon, this is how you're getting it, and we're good, right? I'm done. Anything happens after that is not my responsibility. But you always have to think about, it's going to be your name. People are going to remember what you put out there. So the better you can make your arrangements last and, you know, look good and have a good structure, the better it will be for your business overall. And that's it. That's it, you guys. I think that setup went smooth. It took me I would say I give myself 2 hours actually for setup, but the getting there and leaving probably another hour just to make sure that I found parking and all that. So it was good. I thought so. And that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoy these videos like this. And I'll do another video of another setup I got coming up. And this is a different garland actually. So stay tuned.